G'day. It is not often that I get to interview people multiple times, but I feel very fortunate because sitting before us today is the former Intercontinental Champion, the current King of the Ring. This is Gunther. Gunther, thank you so much for taking the time to join me today.
Yeah, good morning, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, you speak to a lot of people. I don't expect you to remember me, but we spoke about 2 months after you became Intercontinental Champion back in 2022. Now, you went on to have the most epic reign of any Intercontinental Champion that lasted 666 days. In my mind, because I've had the opportunity of speaking with people like Sami Zayn, Dakota Kai, R-Truth, people who've gone on and won championships, I think I'm kind of like 2% responsible for the fact that your reign lasted so long, because in my mind, I'm good luck. Now, that being said, all kidding aside, I would like to ask, first of all, again, 666 days, the number might is not lucky, but the reign itself was nothing short of outstanding. And a lot of people will make the reference to, oh, well, he defeated the honky tonk man's reign. And with all due respect to him, you didn't have to use a guitar over somebody's head to keep your title. It was an extremely dominant reign. When you look back on that title reign, what are some of the feelings you have about that? Because again, it is something historic and something that we're not going to see matched, I don't think, for a significant amount of time.
I mean, when you look at when you focus just on the numbers and the stats, I've beaten everybody because I'm
Yeah.
the longest reigning champion in history, and I think I don't know, whatever I do, I just want to do it to the fullest potential, if that makes sense, and get the most out of it. And I'm glad it worked out how it worked out. I was able to, yeah, be myself out there and get certain freedom with it. And yeah, I'm looking back, I'm glad how it worked out. I think since I'm in the middle of my career, it's always harder to really reflect on things because things happen so fast and there's almost no time for a breather in between. But I think once I'm done, I will be taking more time to really reminisce about all those things. But
No,
it was a good start. It was an impactful start in my career in WWE and or in the main roster. And yeah, I don't plan on slowing down.
excellent. We don't want you to slow down either. It is one thing for myself as somebody who's been a lifelong fan to compliment you, and the accolades are well deserved. But I think it also means a lot more when it's coming from a peer or somebody who's done the job. This is what the Undertaker had to say about you. The sky's the limit for him. I think he's a little bit of a throwback to a different era, but has the ability to work and tell stories. So of course, The Undertaker has his podcast, and anytime your name comes up, he gushes over you. What does it mean to know that you've got such a legendary Hall of Famer who is rooting for you and very impressed with what you've been doing?
I mean, that's great, obviously. I mean, like you said, I mean, obviously the feedback of the fans is kind of like what dictates like our journey, like how successful that's gonna be. But I guess for every professional, it's always something else that comes from a peer or a colleague. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So yeah, it's nice to hear those nice things, and yeah, chat with him sometimes when we run into each other at those whatever WrestleMania or something. And yeah, but the style he worked for, he wrestled through his career. I think yeah, it's not that far off that he would be positive towards me because I think it's somewhat similar.
Mhm. No, absolutely, absolutely. Now, we have a lot of exciting events that are coming to Canada, coming to Ontario specifically. We've of course got the Friday Night SmackDown, which will then lead into Money in the Bank, the NXT PLE Heat Wave, and then culminating with Monday Night Raw here in Ottawa in the nation's capital. What can fans expect coming to see these events live? Like obviously there's nothing like seeing WWE live, but when fans are coming, this is like a jam-packed weekend, and fortunately all of these events are pretty close to each other. I mean, several of them are in Toronto. It's a relatively short drive from Toronto to Ottawa. What can fans expect from these upcoming events?
I mean, like you said, it like the life experience is what really makes a difference. I just think in general, what we do, professional wrestling, is it's a life experience. It's just something else. It's not comparable to when you watch it on TV. It's very interesting to watch it on the screen, but just being part of it, um, yeah, in the building, in person is just a very different experience that, yeah, I don't know. I don't need to explain to anyone. I think it's best to just go there. And I think just in general, it's a very hot time for WWE right now. Almost everywhere we go, we're sold out, and people are really into it right now. And you can tell also with all the international travel we do, like even in Saudi Arabia and Europe, like some developments that just happened on Raw like a few days before are already fully arrived. A few days later, when we travel to those countries, I think just overall there's a euphoria about WWE right now, and rightfully so. I think it's the most exciting than it has been in years.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm happy to be part of it. And I'm looking forward to come to Canada. As a European, as a European living in America, it's always a little bit closer to home, the mentality of the people there. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, you understand.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're looking forward to rolling up the red carpet and welcoming you here. I have to say, okay, listen. So I'm looking ahead. SummerSlam is going to be big as well for you. We've got a title match coming up, which is either going to be against Drew McIntyre or Damian Priest. Is that the title that you're interested in? You obviously you've had a bit of a history with Cody Rhodes in terms of he's kind of been the guy that's eliminated you at the Royal Rumble. Is that a title that you're interested in on that side of things? Like what does the future hold for Gunther? Because whatever it is, I know that it's bright.
I mean, the future holds that I have a title match for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam, and yeah, obviously that's my goal. World Heavyweight Champion is the top title on Raw, and that's
Mhm.
the roster. Yeah, I got drafted to, or I stayed uh,
Yeah,
after the last draft, so obviously that's my top priority, and the goal is going to be to do the same as with the Intercontinental Championship, to win it and then hold on to it as long as possible and add as much prestige and glory to it than possible.
absolutely. And if you are successful at SummerSlam, I do want you to know I will tell everybody that I'm 2% responsible for that as well.
That's all
Okay.
right. I give you that.
I appreciate that. Okay. Always want to be respectful of your time. I want to do some quick rapid fire with you. Of
Yeah.
course, you're a return guest. The last time we spoke, I always ask people their favorite movie. You said at the time it was Forrest Gump. Has that changed in the last 2 years?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. You listen, I have tremendous respect for you. You are somebody who is a consummate professional, somebody who is extremely passionate about this business. It shows in everything that you do and how you carry yourself. That being said, I also see you to be a more serious person. So I have to ask, when is the last time you, Gunter, broke out in uncontrollable laughter?
Ooh, last night, I think, when I had interacted with my wife, I think I laugh a lot. I like laughing and
Yeah.
I like smiling, but
Yeah.
just work is work.
Work is work. I appreciate that. Okay, we've got a one of your colleagues, a guy by the name of R Truth, who of course tells everybody that he was a part of the Judgment Day. Had things gone different and he told everybody that he was part of Imperium, how would that have worked out for him?
Equally to the Judgment Day, I think.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I last question for you. Of course, we've got all of these exciting dates that are coming up. Why should people we talked about how the experience is completely different live. What is it that you always hope that people get out of seeing WWE live? Because I will be the first person to say I've had the pleasure and the privilege of taking multiple people to live events who've never seen it before, and they're transcended into the world, and they completely acknowledge that they haven't seen anything like it. So what is your hope for when people come to see the to see the event? What do they walk away with?
I think in general, that's just what we provide is like a little bit of escapism for a few hours, like come in and dive into our world and become part of it. And then once you leave, be happy about it. You didn't think about anything else for a few hours. So I think that's the most important thing we do is to entertain people. And yeah, I think we're pretty successful at that.
Excellent. I think you do an amazing job at entertaining the fans. And somebody who's been a lifelong fan of this, thank you so much for everything that you do. Um, Gunther, it has been an absolute honor speaking with you. Again, we've got the events. We'll put the dates and the links in attached to this. We've got SmackDown on the Friday, a Friday night SmackDown, of course, on the Friday. When else would you have Friday night SmackDown? We've got Money in the Bank on the Saturday, NXT Heatwave on the Sunday. Catch your breath, and then Monday Night Raw here in Ottawa on the Monday. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. Again, I wish you nothing but continued success, and thank you for everything.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Too.